And welcome, everybody, and good night. We are live. Hope you're all tuning in. This is your time to come on in. I'm going to give you a minute or less. We have a tight show tonight. I have a special guest. Right now, you're hearing the sounds of Calabash led by Tony Pierre. Now, I don't have the rights to this music, but I do have permission to play the music. So get your drink, get your snacks, get a notepad. There's always wisdom keys that are dropped when you have an inspired conversation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nicole Waldron, and welcome to Victory Speaks. It's an inspired conversation series where iron sharpens iron. That's you and me sharpening each other. And I am your voice of victory and your mental fitness coach. And I'm on a mission to inspire you to live a victorious lifestyle. This Inspired Conversation series is just one of the ways that I'll be doing the inspiration. We have many conversations all the time. Good, bad, funny, ugly, you name it, we have it. But you can always find inspiration in it. And I always say, sharing is caring. And this month in particular, and I've said this at the top of the month, it's 25 years we've been celebrating Black History Month in Canada. And I say it's the month, but it's our anniversary month. It's 365. We're going to be sharing our history. This is just a kickoff to the education, to the advocacy as we share our Black history. Now, tonight, I have a really special guest. She is the first female Black MP. And, we fondly refer to her as the mother of Black History Month in Canada. Yes, it's the Honourable Dr. Jean Augustine. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, just in case you don't know who she is, because not everybody's tuning in from Canada. Dr. Jean Augustine made history as the first Black woman elected to Canada and Parliament and served from 1993 to 2006. Her tenure included distinguished service as Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, Minister of State for Multiculturalism and the Status of Women, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Her legislative success include the historic Black History Month motion, and the groundbreaking, I love this statue, Famous Five motion, which authorized the first and still the only statues on Parliament Hill depicting women other than Queen Elizabeth, the Famous Five. You got to go see it in Ottawa. From 2007 to 2015, she served as Ontario's first ever Fairness Commissioner. Now, also in her name are a Girls Leadership Academy in Scarborough, a Center for Young Women Empowerment, and a municipal park in Etobicoke, a secondary school in Brampton, and a multi-purpose complex and district park in Vaughan. Listen, and I know that's just some of the things. I think there's some things hidden in Canada that Jean herself doesn't even know about yet. A member of the Order of Canada and a commander of the Order of the British Empire, Jean Augustine holds honorary doctorates from the universities of McGill, Toronto, York, Windsor, Waterloo, Guelph, and Trent, and supports scholarships at Centennial College, George Brown, and Humber College. She's also the co-chair of ABC Women, who recognize the accomplishments of women across Canada every 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, boys and girls, wherever you are tuned into, I want you to welcome with your hearts, with your emojis, the Honourable Dr. Jean Augustine to the stage. Yay, Jean, you're here. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Nicole, and I'm so very, very pleased to be part of this inspired conversation, this Victory Speaks. I like the title, and I like the purpose of your program. We are celebrating Black History Month in Canada, and I just want to say a word or two before we move into the conversation with you.
This is your show.
It's the 25th anniversary. In December of 1995, I rose in the House of Commons as the parliamentary secretary for the Prime Minister at the time, and I asked my colleagues to designate February as Black History Month in Canada, because I wanted us to recognize that we were here since 1603. We were part of the settlement. We were part of the development. We were part of the growth of Canada. We've been making contributions at every level of Canadian society. And we also are a diverse African Canadian community in Canada. And so those were the facts that I put forward to my colleagues and asked them for unanimous consent to designate February as Black History Month. Well, from coast to coast to coast now, Black History Month is celebrated. Little did I know, I didn't have any big vision at the time that it was going to be the way that it is today, 25 years later. I thought some things would happen in schools, in academic setting, curriculum writers, some artists and other would pick up the celebration, historians. But now boardrooms, every structure and every organizational in our society have focused on Black History Month. 25 years later, Black History Month has now come at a time when we have COVID, the pandemic, which has given us reflective time, has shown us the gaps in society between the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
Have pointed out who the essential workers are, have focused on the mental health of our communities. At the same time, the systemic, the things within our institutions that need to be fixed. Black Lives Matter has focused our attention on racism, systemic discrimination. And conversations have been happening in just about every part of our society because we've seen with our own eyes the brutal killing of George Floyd. So we cannot deny that racism is not something to be dealt with.
Yes.
Coming with this, so I'm saying the pandemic,
yes,
the 25th anniversary, and thirdly, we're in the midst of the decade for people of African descent.
Yes, people forget that.
Right? 194 countries of the world, states and countries, have decided and have passed motions to agree that no matter where people of African descent are in the world, whether it's in Europe or Australia or wherever, the situations are the same for them.
Yes.
Questions around employment, housing, health, all of the determinants of health, all of the issues that face, whether it's pay, inequality.
Yes.
There are so many things, no matter where you are in the world, all of those things that come out of the residue of colonialism and the residues of slavery, etc. And they've asked all of the countries of the world, take these 10 years, folks, 2014 to 2024, and improve the status of African Canadians no matter where they are in the world. They did that for women, and we know where we are in terms of women. There was a decade for women. And we came back in Canada and we had all this status of women's and programs and equity issues and all of those things. So now we have 10 years for people of African descent. So this is a very crucial anniversary of Black History Month, coupled with the call for what we need to do in the international, as part of the international community, and the conversations that must occur about diversity and inclusion, anti-Black racism, and bringing our society to the point where we have to look at those issues that affect people of African descent. And I think it's important for me to say that we have been in Canada since 1603.
Yes.
I was elected as the first Black woman in 1993.
Wow.
Right? There were two Black men before me, Howard McCurdy and Lincoln Alexander. We also know that there were some wrongs that happened in Canadian society. We had the buying and selling of people. We had slavery occurring. We know the promise of land that was not given. We know what has happened as a result of racism, the Africville, and can go across the country. So there is a lot that we have to deal with in Canadian society, yet we know the resilience of the African Canadian community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The resilience, because we've been contributing and building and being part of whatever is part of the structure of it. And we've had to push and push
Yes.
to make sure that things happen. When I came to Toronto, and I keep saying this, when I came to Toronto, we had no Charter of Rights and Freedom at the time. We had no human rights code. We had no landlord and tenant. We had no police talking to community. We had no school boards talking to parents. So we've progressed, and I think as Canadians, we could be proud of some of the things that we've done in terms of legislative frameworks and policy direction.
Yes.
And codes where we can complain, a whole series of things we've put in place. But it's not just good putting the law, because that does not deal with some of the structural things. And we know it is a systemic things. And this COVID time and this very special time is focused on some of those things within systems.
Yes.
We know, and we also do a lot of research and surveys. And we know that when we have more voices around the table,
and the data. Yes.
The bottom line is better. And this brings me to the point where, when I was Minister for Multiculturalism and the Status of Women, and I was given the responsibility to have a look at chairs and archives and museum, and I saw the paucity of that we had very few things in the community that spoke about us. That when you call chairs from all the universities across the country, there were just about 2 chairs that spoke to, one chair at the time, the Dalhousie University, and it was not fully funded and endowed. And so after I left the Parliament of Canada with my 450 boxes of documents and archival material and whatnot, and the archive said, these are important things, not because you're important right now, but somehow and somewhere along the line, being the first to have been there, this is important stuff. And so I brought it all back to Toronto, because I didn't want to leave it in the archives in Ottawa, and was able to negotiate with York University the position of a chair that would deal with community, education, diaspora issues, so that all of us can come together, and our sons and daughters and our grandsons and granddaughters, walking through the university, can see something that they could identify with. Because there are a lot of chairs and this and that and the other funded by people who are moneyed. Mm-hmm. And this brings me to the point that a chair is, when I kind of ask for the particulars, a chair, an endowed chair, is $3 million.
And you've already raised on your own. This blew my mind.
Yes.
I'm trying here not to call you Auntie Jean. I'm just so happy right now. You raised 1.8 million on your own, and now you have this 25K in 25 days. Tell us about this 3 million now. What does this cost?
Okay.
Walk in. Let give us more.
All right. So the $3 million, and if you were a wealthy person, you can put down the 3 million, immediately get a chair. What the 3 million does, it's endowed.
Okay.
And it stays in perpetuity as long as the university is standing. That endowed chair is supported by the interest from the 3 million. So let's say whatever market values are, that is between 3 and 5 and 7%. That's taken out each year to pay for the professor, who is a holder of the chair, and the work of the chair. So right now, we have to find that $3 million to make the chair fully endowed.
Okay.
Right? Fully endowed. It's like what I use as an analogy is like a house with a basement. The basement is the 3 million. and the basement is what's holding up the
The rest
house,
of it. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we can put nice decoration all around. Those are the programs that we can get funding from a source. We can get donations to do a 3 year of this and a 4 year of this, or a
Yes.
1 year or support. So that's the decoration.
I
And
get it now.
we're doing really good work, supported by a lot of program funding that and Dr. Carl James, who is the holder of the chair, just fabulous work. But that is the program around. What is important for me is the foundation, because I believe in sustainability. I believe
Yes.
that whatever we do should be able to stand. I want this chair to stand in perpetuity. And the only way we can do that is by making sure that we have the $3 million.
And the thing is with a foundation, the deeper the foundation, the taller the building.
Exactly.
The deeper the
Exactly.
foundation, the more solid the building.
Yes.
That
And
is
I can tell you, Nicole, that I firmly believe that the time when I signed all the documents with York, that it was a community chair
yes.
by us and for us.
Yes.
I had calculated that, if I can get out there and I can find, the churches can all take a collection one Sunday.
Yes.
Community organizations can do something. I figured, and I can get the $25 from this grandmother and this mother, that I felt that we could do it as a community. What I did not anticipate is the lack of resource, the lack of understanding of what the chair is, what the chair can do, and to make sure that people donate
I think this is
towards
what is really
a 3 million.
They really need to understand what the chair does,
Yes,
and what the chair can do for the community. Because, when I heard about the chair, when I spoke to Fenella, for me, we have people in our community that have $3 million. And so I am just blown away. And I'm pretty annoyed. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty annoyed that someone hasn't said to you, here is the money for the chair. So I am saying today, as we sit here, all
I need now is 1 million.
So whoever has that 1 million, that that somebody knows on this line, call up the next, even if we get the next 5 with 25,000, 250,000, we need that million by tomorrow.
Yes.
We need to finish this campaign by tomorrow.
Well, the campaign is now ending, and we were connecting that with Black History Month and whatnot. And Accenture Canada has been it's the first, actually, the first corporate body that has come forward with the 25,000, and they said we'll match whatever the community gives in Black History Month, the 25th anniversary. And so one of the things that I've done, having, as you said, I've been at this since 2007, we've reached at 1.8, and there is still the 1.2 to go.
Yes.
I have now thrown the baton to the young people. I have said to them, look, the social media, what needs to be done. You have the energy, and find the alumni. All these people who went to York University.
Yes.
Ask them to make contributions. Go out to community
to make contributions. Dr. Augustine, you said, when we talk about the decade, we talk about what has happened in the last year. And people are saying they're committed to our community, and they ask what you can do. This is one of the things that corporations can do.
Yes.
For into the community to help sustain our community.
Exactly.
And how do you think the community will, if you were just to give us a little more about how the community will benefit from this chair so that they understand it?
What the chair does is exactly what we need. The chair engages in community responsive research, because to move forward, you have to have the facts. You have to know desegregated data. Who are we? Where are we? What's happening? Mm-hmm. What's happening in educational circles for young children? Notice the situation there was in Brampton and the Peel board, and all this that was happening within the system. we have the resources to ensure that we give good information so that teachers could examine their practices, etc., with our children. The issues around social justice, what
Okay.
we need to do in that area. Um, the chair advances access, equity, inclusivity to education
Right.
through community engagement, collaborative action,
Mm-hmm.
addresses the ways in which marginalization and race can act as barriers. In other words, all the things that we need to know about, we need to be instructive for where we go forward, because you cannot make plans to go forward unless you have
Context.
documentation, unless
Yes.
you have data, unless you have whatever. And the chair is there to support the young people who are coming into the university. We need to have that pipeline
Mm.
of individuals who can be placed at different places in corporate structures. Because if there isn't a pipeline that can lead you up to the boardroom, it's very difficult for us to get
Yet anyway.
to those places where we ought to be. And so it's the activities of the chair, research and partnerships, community engagement, student engagement. The chair is also focused on ensuring that we provide opportunities for young people to visit the university, to have an opportunity to see what's happening before they get there, so we could avoid failure rates. They can know what is possible,
Yes.
right? So a very practical is for us and for our children. And remember, I said with the 3 million endowment, that will always be there. Not a program that happens today and then it's gone within the
Tomorrow.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's a, I really hope that anyone listening here really understand more about the chair and we start spreading the word.
Yeah.
And I know many people are tuned in. Janelle is like beautiful. Jonas, I'm watching. Diane is
Joan.
like my favorite lady of all times. Emily is putting her children right here. Another day to see a living legend, and that Black History Month in Canada is very much alive. Thank you, Dr. Augustine, for your ongoing work. An incredible legacy. Our contribution to your campaign is on the way. Excited for this rich conversation. Thank you for tuning in, Emily. Joan
Yeah.
is like, you've
I
made us
know. I
all
know.
proud. Living in this country as a Black person, touching on so many areas of concern that affect us. Yeah, Jean will jump in and do her part to bring about change. Thank you, Dr. Augustine. And these are just some of the comments that are coming in.
Yeah, I think it's important, and I think Joan and all of your listeners know that I came here in 1960, and I rolled up my sleeve as an activist and an advocate with all those who were advocating for change,
Yes.
advocating for a just society, advocating for social justice issues. And, we used to have the marches and the demonstration and the protests weekend after weekend. And I was there, and I never left the community, even when I was whatever positions I had. Community has always been my focus.
And
Service.
why is that? Because many people do what you do and then they get tired.
Yes.
What has kept you? What has kept you doing this? Jean, you're 83 years young, right? And I'm 52 and I'm tired. But I look to you, and when I look at you and I look at others that are keep going, when I look at Joan, I was like, okay, no, if you can still do it,
Yes.
I, I,
Yes.
I have to continue. But what keeps
Yes.
you doing it?
Well, I think I grew up in Happy Hill, St. George's, Grenada, and I grew up with a sense of service to others. And the old saying, if it's to be, it's up to me. You can't kind of wait on other people to make things better for you. And there's something called resilience. Over the years, I've fallen on my behind and picked myself up and keep on going and working with positive people, always running with positive people, and leaving behind, all the negative things. And in all the years that I've been here, that I have associated with people who want to move forward. I'm very much kind of community Community is in my bones, and community is on my brain, and everything I do and say involves my work in and with community. And I've had great support from community. And I don't listen to the yeah 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 yeah. Yeah. I just
Just
I
enjoy
just
it.
I just put my head and I move on. And there is just so much to do. And I believe, as I said earlier, in sustainability. Whatever we do, you cannot just do something and then pull back. One has to stay, to be resilient, to keep on going, to mentor, to find ways that you can help communities so that those things that that were negative to you, that those things won't occur for other people.
I
And
know.
that's what keeps me going.
So I know we're running out of time, so this is going to be tight. Someone actually, Gloria asked, could this chair assist young Black women into medicine? We lack Black doctors.
We definitely do. And it's the information that's given. It's the opportunity to talk with mentors to help people to understand what career fields there are
Yes,
out there and how they can get into the career, they can get into those fields. I'm so very much buoyed up by the fact that I see lots of our young people going into archival work, museum work, archaeology, history, and all of those things that are so important for us as community, because we have to have the information. We have to know who we are. We have to know. Um, we have to be in every field of endeavor, and
yes,
we have to be part of that, as I said, that chain, so that it leads us into into every part of the society. Because what we're all doing is working hard for us, for a society that is inclusive, a
mhm,
society that's diverse, a society where there is respect for all of us. And over, I say, Black history is not just for Black people.
that's right.
Black history is Canadian history. We have
World
to
history.
know,
Yes,
each other's history.
yes,
And at the same time, we need to understand the situation of the indigenous peoples who
yes.
welcomed us here and who provided opportunities for us to reach our full potential in this society. And so the fight, for want of another word, has to be inclusive, has to be respect for each other, and how we can all move together.
Jean, I thank you for this rich, rich conversation. And I've put up here for people how they can get involved. And there's a comment from Diana that says, we are who we are because of you. You have left us. And I want to give you your flowers. I'm reading these comments so you can understand. We're giving you your flowers, just some of it, anyways. You have left us as a formidable legacy. We all need to do our part to lead others to the top in every realm of leadership and social activism. You are my Indira Gandhi, Dr. Augustine.
Thank you. And I still have the watch you gave me,
Diana,
Diane.
you heard that? Diana's giving
But
hearts. Diana's
at
giving
this,
hearts.
yeah, at the same time, Nicole, I want to underscore the fact. I know everybody's talking about when I became an MP or when I
Mhm.
I was out in community doing things in the early 60s throughout with school boards and with
Yes,
educators, so it was not that all of a sudden, or the only thing that makes my life whatever is the role of politician.
yes,
Because before that, when I think about all the things we did, and I don't want to start calling names of people in the community like Rita Cox and other,
yes,
way back
yes,
when, starting on the ground and doing things and building the community. And Canada is a work in progress. We've made some really good change in the right direction,
yes.
and so we just need to go this extra mile. Um, and we don't need any reports, more reports and surveys and stuff like that. We've done enough of that. And
Yes.
I said the other day, let's just, as the Jamaicans would say, let's just walk the talk.
Yes.
Let's just make sure that we implement so many things that we all agree would make the society a better place.
Thank you, Jean. And it's funny. I had that I feel like you're reading my script. Like I don't even have to ask you some of the things, because one of the questions I had for you, and we are going to I'm gonna ask a favor on my on as I see you as one of my other mothers, my mentor, my sister mentor, my sister mother, that you would be able to come back and we can have a really rich conversation for more than we're going to need like an hour, 2 hours, because we need to talk about then the early years, the
Yes.
middle years,
Yes. Yes.
the now in the
Yes.
present, and the
Yes.
presence that you have here, and then what you see for the future. And I think we need to really unpack some of that,
Yes.
because you have so much richness to give, and we also need to give you your flowers. And I really like that you touched on the question where I was going to ask you, what would you say is one of the most important parts of your story? Because people see you at the top, but they don't realize where you came from and what you did and the toil and, and the struggle, because the struggle is real. The struggle is very
Yes.
real.
Well,
And
I was talking today. I was in a program with the folks in the British Embassy in London, and I was talking about the issue of intersectionality. And some of the stuff I had to cope with as a woman, as a Black woman, as an immigrant woman, as a Catholic, and on and on and on. Because at each intersection, there are issues that I've had to deal with over the many years. And those are issues we need to talk about as we move forward. And with International Women's Day coming up, again, we'll have to focus on those issues as they affect women. But it's not just, we're not talking about just white women. We're talking about all women.
Yes.
All women in all the different, everything that we could say in that definition. And so it's important for us, and I like what you're doing, and I like the fact that you have the voice. At my age and stage, I'm just being drawn into this technology. As I was saying to you, I've done WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Zoom. And someone asked me the other day, what platform are you on? And I said, what is platform? I said, just send me a link and I can press on it and I get to you. But, all of the vocabulary, I don't have that. And then, of course, with COVID, being cocooned as I am in the condo, I'm by myself, figuring it all out,
Yeah. Well, I just want to encourage everyone who's listening to, give Auntie Jean her flowers and send her love. Yeah, lots of comments are still coming in. And I will definitely take a copy of all the comments so I can send it to you in an email.
Thank you.
And, lots of thank yous and lots of love, Jean, for being here. People will be able to contribute. Is there I'm going to give you the word of whatever do you want to say to the community. When I just want to go back to one thing. You said at the beginning, you did not know that when you launched and you were fighting for Black History Month in Canada, that it would be this. And so many people may start something and think it's so small and it's nothing.
Exactly.
What is that message that you have to anyone who thinks they're starting something and they may think it's nothing?
Perseverance is one. I always talk about gut. You have to feel it in your gut. You have to have a passion. You have to bring others along because nothing is accomplished alone. The old African saying, you want to go far or you want to go fast. And at the same time, if that is a goal that you want to see accomplished, you just have to stay with it. You have to stick with it. You have to have a passion. You have to get others to buy into your passion.
Yes.
And I think oftentimes we give up too soon, and we miss the end of the tunnel because we give up. We don't
see the light. We don't believe there's light because there's so much darkness.
Yes.
And I always tell people darkness is only the absence of light. There's really no such thing as darkness. Once you get the light in, stay the course. And is there a quote? Is there a favorite quote? I know you have several quotes. Is there a favorite quote that you have you wanna?
You cannot change the direction of the wind, or you may not be able to change the direction of the wind, but you can certainly adjust your sails.
Ooh, that's so good. See, I told you guys you have to have your pen and paper handy. Dr. Augustine, the Honorable Dr. Jean Augustine has been my guest today. I am trying, it's not like you're not in my life, but even on this platform tonight, I am so honored. And I'm trying not to cry. Joan would tell you, I'm the crybaby. And I'm trying to keep it together because it's such a special time. And I know you've been busy and everybody pulls at you in Black History Month. And I encourage everybody to pull at you after Black History Month.
Exactly. 365 days of the year.
365 days of the year. Please share this message. Dr. Jean is working hard. And, here she is, 7:30 at night. And I'm going to let her go because she has to go to another. Imagine she's going to another meeting, people. So the fact that you got her here tonight. And I want to thank Vanilla for helping us, navigate your schedule.
Right.
FKB Media to get you here tonight. And I'm looking forward to having you back.
Yeah.
And we can have some more rich conversations because you're a trailblazer that people need to know your story. People need to know more about who Jean the woman is, not just her accolades, the woman, the essence of the woman.
I love you and I love you all. I love you all. I love community and I love being part of this African Canadian community. Just love it. So all the very best to you for the rest of the program. And I head out now to a WebEx.
Okay. Have fun, Jean. Thank you so much, Jean.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Victory Speaks show this week. That was Dr. Jean Augustine. I hope you all enjoyed her and what she had to share. If you want to know more about the Jean Augustine Fund that is there for the chair, I have the link here. You can go to jeanaugustine.ca. You can also follow Jean. So you see jeanaugustine.ca. It's at the bottom of the screen. And also you can follow her on Instagram. Yes, she is on Instagram. Follow the 25 Days of Jean on Instagram. So please follow her. If you work for companies, if you work for organizations, let them know about the chair, about investing in community. If they're looking for places to invest, this is a great place for organizations to invest. Thank you for being part of the Victory Speaks show. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Victory Speaks 7. Also, my YouTube channel is new and all the shows that I've had are there. So please follow me on Victory Speaks 7 on YouTube. Maybe I'll just shift everything to YouTube so everybody can come there. Thank you for joining live on the replay. There's also the Victory Speaks. I can't even speak tonight because I'm just so excited. The Victory Speaks audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and anywhere you can listen to a podcast where I share how to live a life of victory. And if you're on Clubhouse, you can join me at Victory Speaks on Clubhouse. Tomorrow we have an exciting conversation at 7 p.m. and that's going to be about Black content creators. So if you're a Black Canadian content creator and you're on Clubhouse, join the conversation. I have about 3 invitations that I have available. So if you are live and you want to come into Clubhouse and you have an iPhone, let me know. Send me a DM and I might just get you into the club. There's a great quote that a friend of mine says, the distinction between you and other people is you. And that awesome quote is by the wonderful Emily Mills. And guess what, folks? The wonderful Emily Mills is going to be my guest on March the 1st. As we enter that month of March, as we start talking about Women's Month, we're celebrating the greatness of women. We're going to have an inspired conversation about friendship and allyship. You're going to probably get to know a little bit about our friendship and what keeps our friendship so strong and so solid. And, Emily has impacted women across, not just Canada, across the world. So hopefully you can tune into that conversation. It's going to be at 8 o'clock on Monday. Look out for the flyer. I'm going to give you all that information. Now, be an inspiration to someone today. The night's still young. You can still call someone. You can still text someone. You can still check in with them. And make sure to track your victorious moments this week. Write yourself a little note. Yes, I did it. I woke up. I ate. I exercised. I had a great conversation. So thank you all for tuning in. You are such a blessing to me. And I'm so grateful for all of you who tune in every week. I really appreciate you all. And this is a Victory Speak show. This is Nicole. I am tuning out. And goodbye. And see you on Monday. You never know. You might see me before. Take care.